on another group of people. Basically, yeah. My point is that if one group of people choose what another group of people can or cannot do, that's not moral, because it's detracting from the freedom of the group of people being governed.
It depends what the other group of people wanted to do.
Well, it also depends on what the group of people choose to inflict upon the other people. Would you not agree? My point is that
we're looking at a chicken and egg situation. I think that's what we're looking at there. Because you can't judge
my personal opinion is that the only way you can act in a moral manner is to think and rationalise your actions.
What comes first? The immoral actions of a people, or the morality of the people who are against it? What is going to come first?
Acting in a moral fashion always comes first, because acting in a moral fashion comes from rationality. Okay.
Someone's kindly provided us a light from
Excellent, I can see better with that on.
I thought they just turned it off so we can't see again.
What is a reasonable conversation with these guys?
Well, no, it's just that it's interesting people communicating with each other.
I agree with you.
We're here with Radio Gaga.
But yeah, as you can see, my concern is that if I deem the actions of this society in general as immoral and unrational, I have no basis on the society which is already deemed irrational and immoral. No, one vote in an immoral society literally counts to nothing, because this is a society.
Then you coerce or campaign for people to support
exactly
your views.
Coerce.
And then if you get enough, or coerce or try and convert people
so
to your way of thinking.
would you argue? Let's apply that in a different situation. Let's say it was Nazi Germany as an example.
Please don't go onto that, because
it's a pertinent example because it allows me to demonstrate my reasoning.
I think if you utilise that analogy all the time, you're painting us as Nazis.
No, I'm not painting you as Nazis. I'm simply saying Nazi Germany was an extreme example of an injustice.
Of course
so
it was.
Therefore, the difference is between the little things that I see happening in this society and the big things. I can point to the big things and you can say, yeah, I kind of agree. And I can point to the little things in this society and compare them. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying in Nazi Germany, if I had a rational objection to them going out and killing all the Jews, yeah, what would have occurred? Would you say that I would have been able to talk to my peers, if they were Jews, for example, and then change the society? Because at the end of the day, millions of people in Nazi Germany were subject to the irrational and immoral control of the government, and were subject to that. And if they acted in the way that you're suggesting I act in, well, if they acted in the way that you're suggesting
what has developed as a result of that?
A tyrannical dictatorship.
No, what has developed
as a result
Europe-wide in relation to the actions of Nazi Germany?
Well, nothing.
What piece of legislation has
there been a piece of legislation?
Because a massive piece of legislation that's been created.
Okay.
Well, no. European Convention on Human Rights.
Okay.
That was created as a result of the actions of the Germans during the Second World War.
But at the end of the day,
surely that's common sense, isn't it?
It is common sense, and none of us have complaints with the Convention on Human Rights.
We have a complaint with the system, and as I was saying, if the system is immoral and irrational, there is literally nothing other than acting out against the system that I can do to enforce morality. I'm not trying to turn around and say don't act in that way, don't act in that way. I'm trying to say don't hurt each other. I'm trying to say don't kill that person just because he's of a certain colour, you see? That's the kind of extreme situation I'm faced with in this society, that I cannot stand by and do nothing in regards to the fact that every day...
I don't think the police do that.
But you're turning around and saying we can't literally peacefully protest outside an embassy.
You can peacefully protest outside.
If I was to walk over there now, would you arrest me?
But we have created a facility for you to protest, and we can manage the protest so it doesn't get out of hand.
But it was never...
I think you can see from talking to us.
Yeah.
I know, and yes, a lot of people turn up and peacefully protest. A lot of people want to have their voice here. And I absolutely and utterly support that. Beyond belief, do I? What I don't support is the people who will possibly turn up to hijack that initial demonstration and want to, well, whatever you want to name them, that want to cause serious disruption, serious damage,
G20
and injury.
yeah.
And if you say that doesn't happen, I can give you instances of where it does. Now, what we need to do, and unfortunately, the reason we do what we do in the situations like that is to prevent that small minority having the upper hand.
Yeah.
If we wouldn't allow you to demonstrate, and the legislation says you're not going to demonstrate here, we could arguably prevent you getting anywhere near here. We haven't done that. We facilitated you, but we are facilitating you with the creation of this area for you to demonstrate within the view of the embassy, without disrupting the function of the embassy.
But you are disrupting the function of our demonstration, though. So surely you're limiting.
Why?
Because
you're not in the place that you would like to be. Is that what you're saying?
That's one of many things I'm saying. If we have the right to peaceably assemble and protest, how can we do that when we're told you can't do it outside the point of contention, the point that you see as acting in a moral fashion in terms of its recent assault on civilians?
I know, but the reason we do that is because we have a duty of care to that building.
But you also have a duty of care, more importantly, to people as a whole, and we are people.
I am not questioning your duty. I'm not questioning my duty of care towards you.
Yeah.
How have I disrupted my duty of care towards you today?
Because you've imposed yourself on me.
What, duty of care?
Duty of care to someone
duty
is
of
to
care to you today. I would argue
would
that
you
I have.
would you argue that
You've not done anything to infringe on that.
No, I don't know about the specific definition you're using, but would you argue
duty of care is that he could not allow harm to come to us through his actions?
Would you argue that the restriction of someone's freedoms is harm?
No.
No. Okay. Well, there's a difference of opinion again.
And there we have it. And this is exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah. If I was to walk down there, now tell me, do you think I would attack the embassy? Do you think, if I was to walk down there, do you think I would attack the embassy? Considering,
I don't know.
No.
Because I don't know.
Do I know that you're not going to turn around and attack the embassy and then claim it was us? You know, that's the kind of absurd thing you're saying.
I'm glad you're taping this because it is.
No. Can I point out my point?
Go on.
Yeah. My point is that we're being stopped from approaching the embassy on the basis that we may do something extreme. I'm pointing out that you may do something extreme because that would be extreme.
Yeah. And as I've identified prior to this, we are a disciplined service. You may well not think that, but I identify ourselves as a disciplined service.
Okay.
We cannot say the same for yourselves.
No.
Because you don't come under legislation.
No. But would you argue then that the point is to clarify that? Surely, if you have a group of people, surely in order to process them, well, not process them as such, but to incorporate their needs, surely the best approach would have been to assess whether or not they are. What was the word you used?
Well, it's very difficult. We don't know who's going to turn up.
No.
We don't know what group of people is going to turn up. We don't know whether they're going to be from a group who are hell-bent on serious disorder, or we do not know if they're a group from peaceful protest. We just do not know that. And we do not know if it's a mixture of both.
But that's like...
That is... The danger comes when it is a mixture of both.
Yeah. I agree that if there were extremists who wanted to damage the embassy, then there would be potential danger to the embassy. But you've been here for a while now, talking to us. Do we come across as irrational agents?
I don't think you are, but that doesn't alter the fact you could change like that.
Yeah.
And I have seen it.
But you could change like that.
I agree with you, but I will reiterate the fact that what prevents me from changing like that is that I am part of a disciplined service.
Which part of the discipline specifically prevents you from changing like that?
Changing like what?
Changing from what you're now to attacking the embassy, let's use that as an example.
I am not going to attack the embassy simply because I'm a police officer.
But you said that as a result of your disciplined training that you wouldn't attack the embassy. But which part of the disciplined training actually stops you or prevents you from attacking the embassy?
Well, I would argue that it's not my disciplined training that would stop me from attacking the embassy, it's my own morality.
Yes. And have we not established that I'm acting in a rational and moral manner?
You are.
Yes. So, as you can see, you're not attacking the embassy.
And what was
on
the
basis
basis? You're acting. You're acting in. Your actions can change. I will agree with you, my actions can change as well. But it would be argued that there's a more possibility of your actions changing than my actions changing, because the simple fact is that I have gone through extreme amounts of training and experience as a police officer for over 29 years, so as I will not change. Whereas I cannot say the same for you.
But you have stated earlier that you seek to act in a way to prevent anything from happening like that. But you've also,
of course.
So you act in a way to prevent that, and you're using the fullest extent of the law to prevent.
No. I didn't see you there. I didn't realise it was you in your lovely face. I know the governor says.
Okay.
And you're using the fullest extent of the law to prevent that. But you've also recognised that there is, even though a minute chance, there is the chance of one of these people turning around and doing the same. Therefore, why are you not acting in the same way towards them who've identified a small issue, but when you're imposing extreme conditions?
You've lost me again, I'm sorry.
You said earlier that roughly that we're behind this because you're trying to act in as much of a manner as possible to prevent the occurrence of that happening.
It is my responsibility to manage a situation.
Yes.
It is not your responsibility to manage a situation.
But the responsibility is subjective. It's my responsibility under my own personal moral code to act in a rational
But
and
I
moral
cannot
manner.
measure your level of
But I cannot
morality.
measure your level of morality. We
But
come back to this issue
you
again.
can get a vision. All right then, objectively, a reasonable person can identify my morality somewhat in relation to the uniform that I wear. I said objectively, I'm not talking subjectively, and you are looking at it from your own pair of eyes.
Have I not?
I'm looking at it from a reasonable person situation.
Let's go back to the issue of whether or not the system itself is a rational and moral agent. You said that